Let's just crack this right open. Perfect. Cheers. Hello beautiful people and welcome back to another day of Vlogmas. Today is a little bit of a different video. I wanted to share with you guys kind of a few Christmas book recommendations. I know you guys are probably already reading so many, but there's a few that I've had my eye on that I definitely want to pick up or read before the season ends. Obviously I'm not going to get through them all, but there's just a few that I've been dying to get through. So I wanted to help you guys out. I have about 10 that have caught my eye. Some of these are really popular and then other ones I've never really heard of, but I found and now I'm super interested. Before we get into this, make sure you guys give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Subscribe if you love Christmas as much as I do. But I have a list on my phone kind of going through all of them, but I'll have the photos of the actual books on the screen, and then a few of them I actually do own. Accompanying us today we have a Celsius because we need to keep the caffeine going to keep going. But the first one that I have is Lovelight Farms by B.K. Borison. This is a part of a series. I saw so much about this last Christmas and I still just didn't buy it this year. I honestly forgot when I went Christmas book shopping because now that I'm thinking about it, I did want to read this book this year. But this main trope that we have here is mainly fake dating, which is one of my favorite tropes ever. So that's why I'm so upset I didn't end up buying this. But basically the whole plot revolves around our main character, Stella. She owns a Christmas tree farm called Lovelight Farms and it's basically a mess. The whole farm is going underground. It's going to go out of business and she loved this farm as a kid. So when she took ownership of it and it started going downhill, so she decides to enter a Instagram influencer contest and it has a cash prize of $100,000, which if she wins, she can use that money to save the farm. So there's a lot at stake here. And for her to win this contest, basically, she's revamping the whole entire farm to be a super romantic scene that she owns this farm with her boyfriend. But really there is no boyfriend. So she's recruiting her best friend to become her fake boyfriend to try to win this Instagram contest so then she can save her farm. Crazy concept. It is a part of a series. I think it would be super cute, especially with the fake dating. Like, let's be honest here. And I feel like it could just be one of those like chaotic Christmas books that you can't put down. Next we have a Christmas book by one of my favorite authors. It's In a Holidays by Christina Lauren. I love Christina Lauren. I've mentioned that to you guys so many times, but I've never picked up a Christmas book by her and I would love to see how she goes about that, you know? This main concept of the book is like the Groundhog's Day vibe, which I don't know if I love because it's basically repeating the same day over and over again. So that can become super repetitive and stuff, but I feel like because I love Christina Lauren, it could be really good. A lot of other people have reviewed this book to be just like a bunch of crazy shenanigans and stuff and super funny and super just bizarre because basically she's wishing from the universe for something to make her happy. Like, please just make me happy. After like a crazy bizarre accident, she just wakes up and now she's reliving Christmas again and the holiday over and over again. More disasters keep happening, things aren't going well still, and it's just the same day repeated over and over again. So I feel like it could be funny because even though it's so repetitive with the day happening over and over again, the events in between each day would probably just make me laugh and want to keep seeing like, oh, what's gonna happen next? Or, oh, is she finally gonna stop reliving the day? Like, I don't know. I feel like I could become hooked to it, kind of like fall in love with the characters to the point where it's like, okay, this is actually good, you know? It's also not that long of a book either. That's also good because hopefully it would be fast paced. This one seems so cool, you guys. It's 'Tis the Season for Revenge by Morgan Elizabeth. I've heard a few things about Morgan Elizabeth recently, like as an author, but this book I've had my eye on for so long. Like the cover, it just gives off those mischievous vibes like, okay, this is gonna get messy. But basically the tropes that are explained in this book, a contemporary grumpy sunshine age gap Christmas romance. It's a full-length romance with a happily ever after that features sexually explicit material and profanity. And this book is intended for 18 plus. So obviously we have an adult romance here going on, but this one seems so cute because our main character, Abby Keller, she basically thought that this man was her forever. She was so happy. She thought he was so happy and they've been together for over 4 years now. But in doing that, she had to become a person that she basically wasn't. She had to dye her hair. She had to learn how to love golf. She had to learn to like act a certain way around his family. She had to dress a certain way and stuff to kind of fit his picture perfect girlfriend and stuff like that. Fast forward a little bit of time and he breaks up with her because she's not serious enough and he wants someone that's going to be more serious and stuff. So when a girl gets broken up with, she does what a girl normally does. She goes out with her friends, gets drunk, dyes her hair, and this is where she has this crazy idea to form a revenge plan against her ex because she obviously got broken up with, and she thought this man was going to be her forever. So she's obviously pretty heartbroken. But in doing so on this, she meets some other people along the road, very close to her ex. Literally, it just seems like it's gonna get super, super messy. I don't know. I'm just so curious, and this book intrigues me so much. So I'm here for the messiness, and I'm here for things to go down. Let's just say that. Next is another really, really loved author. We have Window Shopping by Tessa Bailey, and I've heard mixed opinions on this book. A lot of people say that it's just meh. It's nothing special, but apparently this book is supposed to be extremely spicy, like almost to the point where it's just basically smut. And this book's also not long at all. I'm pretty sure it's under 200 pages. I could be wrong, but this book is so small, so it's gonna be a fast-paced kind of like short story-ish, which I feel like for Christmas books that's kind of perfect. Like, you don't want to be reading like a 500-page Christmas book. Like, that's just unrealistic, and I'd get bored of that. The description says, a sizzling standalone feel-good holiday romance. 2 weeks before Christmas, and all through Manhattan, shop windows are decorated in red and green satin. I'm standing alone in front of the famous Vivint department store when a charming man named Aiden asked my opinion of the decor. Oh my gosh, I'm reading you guys this description because it's like very poetic. It's a tragedy and tinsel, I say, unable to lie. He asked for a better idea with a twinkle in his eye. Did I know he owned this place? No. He put me on the spot. Now I'm working for that man, trying to ignore that he's hot. But as a down on her luck girl with a difficult past, I know an opportunity when I see one, and I have to make it last. I'll put my heart and soul into dressing his holiday windows. I'll work without stopping. And when we lose the battle with temptation, I'll try and remember I'm just window shopping. I love descriptions like that, short and sweet and poetic like that. Like, oh, I don't know. It seems interesting, but then again, like, it's going to be very spicy. I feel like the plot is going to be super closed off because it's such a small kind of plot scenario going on. But I mean, you never know. Like, it could surprise me and stuff. So I still wanted to read it because I feel like I'd personally enjoy it. I don't know why. It just seems like a book that I would kind of pick up. That one's definitely on my radar, especially because of the cover. Like, that's probably one of the most gorgeous Christmas covers I've ever seen, to be honest. I just love it. Next is Nick and Noel's Christmas Playlist by Cody Hall, which, fun fact, I do have a recommendation from this author of another Christmas book that I'll get into, but this author is pretty loved by me because I enjoyed the other one so much. When I saw that he had more Christmas books and stuff, I was super interested in this one. And it says, curl up this Christmas with a sparkling romance filled with irresistible friends to lovers romance. We love a good friends to lovers moment. The kiss that changed everything, warm nights on the family Christmas tree farm, and all your favorite Christmas songs. Like, that is the definition of a perfect Christmas book, in my opinion. Like, if you have those family aspects, if you have those cute Christmas traditions and stuff like that, like, I'm here for it. I will read that book. So I think this one kind of focuses more on Nick as the main character, which is interesting because I feel like a lot of the romance books I read, it's basically just focused on like the girl in the romance, which is completely different to me. But basically, Nick just came home from being stationed out in the military, and he goes home for Christmas, see his long distance girlfriend, but when he gets home, he realizes that she cheated on him. So now Christmas is kind of just not something Nick wants to participate in. He's very down, obviously, finding out his girlfriend cheated on him. He ends up trying to spend the Christmas with his family on the tree farm and stuff, but then he meets someone else and things just seem like they go from there. I don't know. I feel like it could be cute, and with knowing how this author writes Christmas books and really loving the other one and stuff like that, I know the vibes that I'm gonna get in this book, and that's what kind of hooked me to it because I know this author knows how to write like the perfect Christmas feel book, if that makes sense. So this one was definitely very high on my list, and I'm pretty sure it is a part of a starting series because it says it's number 1 out of X amount. I'm not too sure how many there's gonna be, but we love it. I'm here for it. Next we have The Christmas Fix by Lucy Score. I picked this book up literally before Halloween because I wanted to read it so much, which this is my book club pick for my Patreons for the month of December, and I'm so excited we're reading a Christmas book, which make sure you guys check that link for my Patreon so then you guys can join our book club. We read a new book every single month, and we're sticking to the Christmas vibes, of course. But Lucy Score is a very loved author in the book community. She's been blowing up recently, and I still have not read a Lucy Score book. I think this is kind of like enemies to lovers kind of thing going on because like we're dealing with like a small town single dad situation, and it says she's going to save Christmas just to spite him. So I think this kind of deals with like reality TV stars things going on in a small town. So So those big city things are kind of bombarding this small town and stuff, but I feel like it could be a small town romance, you know? Super, super cute, kind of like opposites attract as well. I was so drawn to this book, especially because it's Lucy Score, and I've been dying to get to know her writing and stuff like that. But it says, can these enemies work together to pull off a Christmas miracle, or will their fighting leave them both on the naughty list? Ah, sounds so perfect. And plus, I've seen and heard a lot of the booktubers I like to watch. I've seen them reading this book, and majority of them have liked it. They either love it or it's just like, yeah, it was good. That's a good sign, considering I like a lot of the books that they recommend and stuff. So super excited. I know I'm gonna read this one for sure this month, especially because it is my book club pick. We're just gonna see what it's all about, but I highly recommend. Another book I own is The Santa Suit by Mary Kay Andrews. Mary Kay Andrews, I own a few books by her, and she's just like kind of an all-around author. Like, she does summer books, she does Christmas books, she does it all. I've had this book for a really, really long time, and it's so short, so I feel like I could definitely fly through this, which this is a part of my December TBR too, so I should probably get around to this one as well. But this one just seems so cute and wholesome. It's also based around like a small town. So as you can see, I'm kind of on like a small town kick recently. I think the books are just so cute, especially because it gives that like whole like wholesome effect to it, so it just makes the book so much cuter. But it says, when newly divorced Ivy Perkins buys an old farmhouse sight unseen, she is definitely looking for a change in her life. The farmhouse, called the Four Roses, is the labor of love, but Ivy didn't bargain for just how much labor it entailed. The previous family left so much furniture and junk that it's a full-time job sorting through it. At the top of a closet, Ivy finds an old Santa suit, beautifully made and decades old. In the pocket, there's a note written in a childish hand. It's from a little girl who had one Christmas wish, and that was for her father to return home from the war. So then Ivy kind of goes on like a whole mission trying to figure out what child wrote this note, and just like trying to figure out the whole mystery of finding her and stuff like that, which also kind of like makes her question what family secrets and stuff that this old farmhouse held. Like, who was this family, and like what did everything entail with it and stuff like that. So she just makes it her life mission to basically find all these secrets and figure out what is going on and what went down at this farmhouse. She's just very concerned about this family, apparently. And it also says, but the magic of Christmas makes miracles happen, and Ivy might find more than she ever thought possible. A welcoming town, a family reunited, a mystery solved, and a second chance at love. It seems cute, and like with that big of a plot, I'm surprised on how short the book is, so I'm curious to see how all the events unfold and stuff. It's just gonna be a good one. Like, I just know it. I have a feeling. I also wanted to throw in a personal recommendation for you guys as well, because I never thought I would rate this book the way that I did, but we have There's Something About Mary by Cody Hall. This is the book that I did end up reading from that author I mentioned in the other book. I rated this a 5 stars, you guys. I absolutely loved this. I ate it up every single second. It's a big Christmas book too. Like, this is a 400-page Christmas book, and going into it, I was like, do I really want to read a 400-page Christmas book? And I'm so glad I did, because this gave me the perfect Christmas vibes, like I said about this author. The way that he wrote this book and set everything up, he thought of every single possible detail that you could think of. He would time everything perfectly in this book, and it literally transported me to this little farm with this little family, with the single dad and his daughter, and even the dogs on this farm. Like, I felt so connected to this book, and when I finished it, I was like, there's no way I'm gonna give this anything lower than a 5 stars because of how much I absolutely just ate it up. But basically, we do have the single dad trope with Clark Griffins, which is our main guy. Then we also have Mary, and his family owns this whole tree farm. And then Mary, she had a really, really bad Christmas the year prior, and she decides to join the farm to like help out and stuff like that. And she gets a live-in position at this farm, and basically she starts to dabble into the online dating scene, and she starts talking to a guy. She realizes that this anonymous guy is really the single dad Clark, and then things just kind of go from there. And they're basically like forced proximity because they are living on the same farm, and she has no idea and he has no idea that they're talking to each other because they have like anonymous names on like the chat dating website and stuff. It gets pretty crazy. It gets super, super cute, especially because like the whole single dad thing, like I'm vibing with that recently. I don't know why, but it was just so good. I'm telling you guys, you have to read this. It's just the perfect Christmas book in my opinion, and even if I read other ones, I still think and strongly believe that this one would stay on top. Next, we have A Winter in New York by Josie Silver, and just this title alone drew me into the book because Christmas in New York, that's like the biggest stereotype of like the most magical time of the year. Like, going to New York during the Christmas time, it will forever be on my bucket list and I'm gonna make it happen one day. But this one seemed cute and wholesome because I feel like its main focus isn't a romance, which I feel like is perfect for a Christmas book because I feel like a lot of them is just like a Christmas romance. So this one's interesting because Iris, our main character, she basically moves to New York thinking it's going to be what the movies are like and how it's so perfect and amazing and big and magical and stuff like that. But she's hit in the face very soon when she ends up moving there with the reality that it's a struggle to live in New York and find a job and get on her feet right away and stuff like that in such a big city. But growing up, she always had a love for gelato with her mom, and she knows like this amazing gelato recipe. So when she's down in the streets of New York, she passes by a struggling gelato stand that is basically going out of business. And when they call out to her for like some help or like if she wants to work there and stuff, she realizes that their secret recipe at the gelato stand is the same secret recipe that her mom taught Iris when she was younger and stuff. So then she's questioning like, why did this family give my mother their secret recipe and stuff like that? So then she basically starts helping the gelato stand and she's trying to figure out why they're connected in a way and stuff like that. So I feel like it kind of gives that like suspense action of like trying to figure out that like little tiny mystery, and I feel like it's gonna have a cute ending even though it's gonna get messy along the way. Plus it's based in New York and I love reading about books based in New York because I personally want to go there so bad. So I feel like giving that Christmas aesthetic and being in New York, it just could be something I could really enjoy. And I don't know, I feel like this book is just so up my alley and one that I definitely want to pick up. And the last book I have is The Holiday Swap by Maggie Knox. I've had this on my want to read since last Christmas as well, and I don't know, it just seems so crazy because it's based on identical twins, and I'm sure this is more common in real life than people think, but basically when they were little, they would swap. They would switch people for a day kind of and be the other person. So fast forward when they're now adults, they haven't done this in so long, but both of them are struggling in their life. Like one is a cook and she has a very, very big thing coming up, but she loses her sense of taste and smell. And then the other one is dealing with work problems and romance problems and stuff like that that she needs help with. So basically they decide to make a deal and swap a few weeks before Christmas, leading up to Christmas. So they're going to be each other and kind of like live their own lives and help each other out secretly when no one knows that they switch places because they're identical, so no one can really tell. Now that they're switched and they're trying to kind of help each other's lives out, like their own little worlds, things obviously do not go as planned. Things are not all smooth sailing and a lot of things are probably going to happen. And the last thing that it says is, will the twins' identity swap be a recipe for disaster, or does it have all the right ingredients for getting their lives back on track? So it seems crazy, and I've never read a plot about twins swapping lives and stuff. I feel like I'd really like it, and I don't know, it seems interesting. I haven't heard too many things about this. Like a few people I watch have mentioned the book. It's a book that I haven't really heard too much about, which I love recommending to you guys because a lot of the popular books can get super repetitive. I always like to throw in some of the ones that like aren't heavily talked about. So this one seems super funny, super cute, and seems like it's gonna be a wild ride. Definitely on my list for sure. But yeah, those are all the Christmas book recommendations that I wanted to give you guys, slash kind of just the books that I want to pick up. I obviously haven't read any of these besides the one, so I can't like say, ooh, these are so good and I recommend them to you. But these are just the ones that I've had my eye on that I want to buy, hopefully before the Christmas season ends, because I love Christmas. I love Christmas books and stuff like that, and I feel like it's such a magical time of year, and bringing that time of year with reading and stuff like that, it makes me so happy. So hopefully you guys found some of these recommendations helpful, or maybe you found some new Christmas books that you wanted to add to your list and pick up before the season ends. And let me know what Christmas books you guys have already read, because we're pretty far in December now and I would love to know if you guys are reading any Christmas books or some of your favorites. So let me know down below because I would love to hear them, and also your ratings as well. But I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you guys did, please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube stuff you guys know how to do. Check out the Vlogmas playlist that I'll have linked down below, and while you're down there, check out my Patreon to join that Patreon family because we have so much fun over there. Join our book club as well. We're reading an amazing Christmas book, and you'll also get to see so many behind the scenes of Vlogmas, my life, literally everything. Make sure you guys check that out so you guys don't miss out on things like that. But other than that, I really hope you guys are having an amazing, wonderful day. Merry Christmas, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye! So freaking good. I'm telling you guys, that's the best stuff.